runs, 2 earned runs out of your pitching staff, none for the bullpen. Pretty good all-around day. How do you feel about the Sunday performance?
Good. The way game started off there with bases loaded, nobody out. I thought we were, that game could have gone a lot differently. I think tip of the hat to Jaden Alba for, kind of buckling down right there and getting a soft line out and then punching the next couple guys out to get out of that. And that kind of really started kind of the momentum, I guess, on our side after it could have really gone south. And then, obviously, New coming up in first pitch, putting us on the board, and that was big. But all in all, yeah, the bullpen did an outstanding job. That was good to see. I was happy for that performance. And then offensively, we stuck with our plan for the most part of the day, and were able to put up some good runs. So good all-around effort.
The second start for Alba on Sundays, there were a lot of guys that still could start on Sundays for you. You go with him. How happy have you been with that decision to go with him last Sunday and this Sunday to start the season?
He's been great. He hasn't been as sharp as he wants to be, but ball's coming out pretty hot today. His first inning, he was mid-90s, 94, 96, and I don't know if he was a little bit amped up, but that's the arm strength that the kid has. But now it's just a matter of fine-tuning, and if he does that, he's a pretty good Sunday guy.
Coach, you guys drew 10 walks. What can you say about just the overall play discipline and that possibly leading to throwing errors and Oral Roberts and just the base running in general?
That was part of the offensive approach is making sure we get pitches that we can do damage with. And Brandon Compton, I don't think saw a pitch all day until the 9th inning or 8th inning there, where he finally got one pitch to hit and hit a double. So staying disciplined to what they're trying to do. And Matt King didn't have any hits, but he worked some good solid at bats there. He and Kyle Walker down at the bottom of the lineup were finding ways to get on base, and those are big because that rolls over to the top, and we're able to continue to put base runners on the bases and make things happen there. So all in all, they stuck pretty well to their plate discipline, which was good to see.
You talked on Friday that the offense kind of rolled a little bit in the middle in the back half of the ball game. How do you feel that this group responded in the last 2 nights?
Great. We scored in every inning except one today, so that's finding in different ways too. Some by the long ball, some by base running. Those type of things to staying aggressive are going to be important as we continue to move on. That we're not one-dimensional.
Speaking to that 6th inning, couple of quick outs, and you go and talk to Key and slow things down a little bit. Was that the same type of feel there, not allow things to lull, and then Key hits that home run?
Do you want me to shoot you straight, or do you want me to take credit for something that I don't deserve credit for? Because I could easily say I told Kean to hit a homer to left center. Matter of fact, if I'm being truthful, Kean said, I asked him what his approach is, and he said, I'm gonna hit a homer to left center. And I said, okay. But the whole reason I was out there was to stall time to get Carlone ready. So I had zero to do with that, but kind of ironic that Kean told me that's what he was going to do, and he did it. So yeah, I could sit here and take all the credit in the world and say I told him, but no, that was all on him, and it was all to just buy a little time for Carlone to get ready.
Looking at Carlone, 28 pitches, 21 of those strikes. Is he a guy available to be maybe a starter or back in bullpen guy on Tuesday and Wednesday?
He is capable of doing a lot of different things, and when he throws the ball that way, it gives me a lot of different options with him. So it could change from any one weekend to the next. I think these guys, for the most part, aren't worried about their ego and if they're starting or back end. They're just ready to get outs when we need them. But that's a nice luxury to have in the back half of the bullpen. With him throwing that way, is pretty impressive.
I asked the guys about how much fun they're having running the base and the free bases that were given this weekend. How intimidating do you think that made? Because they were saying that it really makes the pitcher stop thinking about throwing a pitch and more about checking over at first. How intimidating does that make you guys as a team when you always have to be wary whenever there's a runner on base?
I think it's twofold, right? One, we get ourselves in scoring position, but two, if the pitcher's thinking about the base runners, then advantage us when we're hitting. So that's kind of hopefully the way the lineup is constructed is that we have speed at the top and the bottom, and if we get speed on and they're thinking about those guys, maybe they leave a breaking ball up and we deposit it in the seats. So base running can do that to guys and get you thinking about them and taking your focus away from executing pitches, and that's, like I said, multi-layered offense. That's what we aspire to be.
Building off what you said about Keenan calling his shot on that home run, how much confidence does it fill you with as a coach when you have 4 different batters hit a home run in 4 straight innings and they all can bring that energy and build off of each other?
I mean, I think it becomes kind of a frenzy with those guys when they start going. They're 1 through 9, they're capable of hitting the ball in the seats, which is great. But when they start, I've said it, when this offense starts getting going, it's going to be a really, really fun offense to push buttons for, because they can go deep, they can play the small ball game, they can run, they can hit and run, they can do a lot of different things. So when you have guys that are able to go yard, you're never out of a game, and B, you can put up some big numbers and stretch leads, which I challenged them to do today, and they responded very well.
Speaking of confidence, your 6 pitchers used between Saturday and Sunday, a couple midweeks, against UCLA this week. How much does that build your confidence in the rest of your staff to have loads of options with 5 games in 6 days?
We're going to need it. We're going to need options and guys to step up and eat up innings for us, and just keep us in games and give our offense a chance to get going. But we do have a lot of guys that are capable of throwing and throwing well, and a bunch of guys that didn't get into the game this weekend, but they'll be hot for the midweek games against UCLA. Again, that's the challenge, is trying to keep all these guys sharp and in there, but at the same time winning games. So trying to put them in right situations.
What's the approach to coaching when your offense is homering as much as they are and your defense is playing well? What do you say to the guys when they're playing as well as they are?
Just stay locked in. It's it's not going to get any easier. Things are going to get tougher. The competition that we played already, these teams are going to go win a lot of games in their conferences, I believe. So they've been a good challenge for us, but we can't get complacent on that. We have areas that we can improve and keep getting better, and continue to create our identity on who we are and what we want to be. So I don't think there's anybody in there that's getting complacent. So I think we know we got to get better, and we'll keep pushing to get better.
Do you have a starter in mind for Tuesday yet, or is it still up in the air?
Yeah, Easton Barrett is going to start on Tuesday. That was the guy who was trying to get into the game this weekend. Just didn't work out from a lineup standpoint. Oral Roberts is very right-handed heavy. Want to try to get him in there with some success. UCLA's got a lot of left-handed hitters, so I think he'll match up hopefully well against those guys. And he's stretched out well enough. Hopefully we can get him through some innings there at the beginning of a game.
Last year, UCLA was kind of the defining road series for you guys, a couple of really big wins out there. What do you feel that this 2-game stretch defines for these guys this early in the season on LA?
Well, I think it'll be good for us to get away from home, and play on the road, experience that a little bit, and UCLA's been playing well. So they're a year older and a year better. I'm sure they haven't forgotten last year. I'm sure they'll be reminded of that when we play them. But they'll be a extremely tough test for us. So we'll have to come with it and play our best baseball that we played so far this year to come away with any wins there. So
I know you had mentioned it last year, but as a Pac-12 guy, having grown up in Washington, played here, you know Pac-12 your entire life. What does it mean to keep these series on the books? USC's going to come in here, and you're going to UCLA, and some Stanford probably in the future. What does it mean to you to continue to play these series?
I think it's important. We've had such good rivalries over the years with a lot of these schools in our conference that to let those just die, it would kind of be a shame, I think. So, but on the other hand, we got to throw some schedule in there that we can't make it so difficult that it's impossible either. We have to try to schedule some wins in there, and there's no easy wins in the Pac-12. Those are the former Pac-12. All those teams are, top to bottom are doing well, and they're going to be tough. So, but yeah, I think it's important to continue scheduling UCLA, USC, and those California schools. We recruit heavily in California, and for us to continue to go see our guys there, and for them to see us play and continue to put our stamp in California area. it's big for us. But more just the fun rivalry that we've built over the years. We got to keep those going.
What you said at the, I mean, Jake probably said it too, obviously Brandon Compton, like getting those walks, not seeing pitches on a day like this though, when homers are falling out, I mean, does he say anything to you, does he say anything to him to not, obviously get too over aggressive, maybe not swinging pitches that aren't there?
No, he's maturing as a hitter every day, and I think this is just a sign of it. He didn't chase out of the zone, and so just was very patient with the pitches that he can do damage with, and yeah, he just continues to get better and better and mature every day that he's out there.
What did you that decision to put Alvin back out there for the fifth, and was there any thought of putting him out for the sixth as well?
No, I didn't realize his pitch count had gotten that high when I run him back out there for the fifth, and he got the first out. I can't remember, did he strike the first guy out? I think, and Jeremy said, "You want to go get him?" And I'm like, "Why? Why are we going to get him?" And he's like, he's starting to get up there pitch count wise, which I, wasn't. Usually I'm right on that with the number of pitches that he's thrown, but he was creeping up there, so I had zero intention. As a matter of fact, that was his last guy that he got out, would have been his last hitter, regardless if he got him out or not. So I was really excited that he was able to get through five and get the W, I guess, from a selfish standpoint, get him the win. He deserved it and gutted it out. So that was neat for him, and yeah, the other guys came in and did their job.
Sundays were not necessarily the finest days, especially at the beginning of the year last year for you guys, but you did finish 3-1 at the end of last year, and now you've won both Sundays to start this year. What have you seen with this team as far as turning it around and making sure that you close out a series strong? And this was obviously, especially pitching-wise, a lot different than you're used to seeing in a Sunday ball game.
Yeah, I mean, it was, we were trying to scratch across runs, but I mean, I think at the end of the day, that was, hockey said it today, first time in 3 years we lost a Friday game and we're able to still come away with the series win. So I challenged our guys with that today a little bit and said, okay, here's the deal. We know they're going to come out swinging and it's going to be a dogfight today. So, button the chin strap and let's get after it and try to just get this. This is an important win, early on. It's an important one. So didn't want to obviously drop the one on Friday, but we did, and now it's how you're going to bounce back. And the way they responded was great. Couldn't ask for anything more. They were resilient and continued to play with intensity and energy throughout the Saturday and Sunday games. So for me, it's a good start.
How confident are you in the Sunday spot going forward, whether it be Alva or someone else, after being a question mark for a little while?
As long as Alba keeps throwing the way that he was, he'll keep staying out there. It's good. We have a lot of options, and again, trying to keep some of these length guys, lengthen out, even though they didn't pitch this weekend. That's a challenge that we have. Using the days during the midweek that we don't play. This week's going to be different because we play on Tuesday, Wednesday, but using those days is trying to get extra at-bats against people to keep not only the hitter sharp, but also the pitching sharp. So that's just something we have to manage and keep those guys ready for when we do have double midweek games. And, later on in the year, we're going to need more than 3 or 4 starters. We're going to need guys to be able to lengthen out.
Obviously, a 7-run margin of victory at the end of it. How valuable is it to be able to run up the total at the end of the game to give young pitchers like Eli Buxton a chance to develop?
I wouldn't say running it up, but I would think just continuing to keep the gas on, foot on the gas and not giving at bats away. And yes, trying to expand the lead a little bit because it is important to get those guys in the game. And you'd like to give them some soft landings early on to get their confidence going and have a little bit of wiggle room in case they, get a little bit tight and, walk a guy or something here and there. You don't want it to be a 1-run game or 2-run game. So the more we can keep putting those add-on runs late and expand leads, that's huge. But not only for that sake, but just for my blood pressure's sake, it's nice.
Coach, how nice is it having 1 through 4 hitters all returning in this era of college sports where it's not really normal? What do you see the way they have this early in the season? Nobody throwing the confidence.
I think it's 1 through 6 really, are returning. So we have Crom returning, Zay, Toby, 1 through 6 is all returners. So you know, they know the expectations, they know what we're trying to do and what type of offense that we are, and just having that luxury of those guys back that know what our approach is and know what we expect of them has been big. And I think they're, you know, like I said, I don't want to sound cliche, but they're just, we're not hitting on all cylinders yet. There's more in there. These guys will, when they start clicking, it'll be, like I said, I think a really fun offense to start rolling with.
Eli pitched in the ninth, set the tone immediately with a strikeout on 3 pitches. What do you think it makes, or how do you think it becomes so difficult for hitters to pick up on his arm angle, because it's unique, and it can be difficult for hitters to pick up on his breaking ball?
Yeah, that's he has a unique release point. It comes from the 8th floor. You know, it comes from way up high and has good downhill angle, and hitters don't see the breaking stuff off of it, and his fastball's got enough life to blow by him. So it's just a unique angle, and you know, it's when we have enough arms that have good velo and ride, it's nice to throw a different wrinkle at them. I think that's, you know, Josh Butler had a lot of success yesterday because it's a different angle, a different look. After we've been throwing everything that kind of rises at him for, you know, the last 13, 14 innings, and then bringing that guy in with sink and then kind of mixing it up today, you know, with those different angles and different looks is big. So, you know, these hitters are good, man. I don't care who they are playing for or what teams they are. They come in, if you start showing them velo every day that has the same arm slot, they're going to catch up to it. And, you know, I never felt overly comfortable this weekend. Those guys can swing it a little bit, and they put good at-bats together. So we had to keep throwing different wrinkles at them and keeping them off balance.
Talk about soft lanes for the younger guys, putting Landon Harrison there later in the game. Was that kind of another example of that on the hitter side?
No, Landon pinch hit Friday night in a very crucial situation. So that was his soft landing. Some guys you just don't have the luxury to do that with. But I've said it before, that kick and flat out hit, and then we got to keep him mixed in there. And you know, I've touched on this several times, but we have a lot of guys that are capable of starting and getting a lot of at-bats, but I can only write 9 guys in there at a time. And so for me to kind of juggle certain guys to keep them sharp, try to get their ABs in there to keep their timing, there's opportunities to do that. I got to try to do it as best I can.
Coach, you're 6-1 at home, a 9th inning away from 7-0 at home. Are you happy with the outcome of these first 7 games before you get to
Happy, not satisfied. You know, I think it's great to get wins, but we have room to improve. There's areas we got to get better, and like I said, it doesn't get any easier as we move forward. The schedule only gets tougher. So, you know, it's good to be where we're at, but we, you know, that one stung a little bit on Friday. I think we all are still a little bit, I don't want to say disappointed, but we bounced back from that. It's in the rear view, but that one stung a little bit. We knew we were capable of coming away with that one, but I think it's a tribute to where we're at, and I think where we can go. Confidence-wise, if you look at, I know Ohio State lost a couple of games today and yesterday that they were way ahead of really good teams. They beat NC State, right, earlier in the week. So when you start looking at, like, man, those games were a dogfight with Ohio State, and now they're going out and beating ranked teams and, you know, giving those guys fits too. It's like, well, maybe, you know, those were good tests for us, and our guys are, you know, we're getting battle tested. You know, these guys, I guarantee these guys are going to go win a whole slew of games this year, which is going to be good for us. That they're very well coached, and they're going to continue to get better. They just have, they're a little bit inexperienced, but they got some kids over there that can flat out play, and some nice arms in the bullpen. So that was a good challenge for us. And Austin P is going to go win a boatload of games too. So I think we were challenged early on, and to come away with 6 wins is good. It's, you know, but we know as a team we got to get better. So.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.